And we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? This is Covenant Canon. Welcome to another monthly stream of me answering your questions on the Q&A. If you guys want to want your questions answered, the Discord link is in the description below. You can simply join up, chat around with the other people there. And if you want like I said, if you want your questions answered, the Q&A submission section is there. So if you want your questions answered, just type them on there and I'll see if I can answer them today. Well, for today, we are going to be playing some little Halo 2 Anniversary. We're going to be taking down Sesarafume's little band of heretics, even though we know technically, those of you who pay attention to the lore, they're technically not so bad people. Okay, hold on. Before I do that, I should get the Discord link up so I can answer some more of your questions. Okay. So, first question of the day goes to Bed and Breakfast. With the Banished being leaderless now, and most likely fighting against themselves for power, wouldn't it make sense for the remaining UNSC forces to take advantage of this and regroup at the area that Chief has taken over? I'm assuming you're referring to the Mortal Reverie, aka Outpost Tremonius. Yeah, it would definitely make sense for the remaining UNSC forces to regroup there. Though it's probably more likely the Banished know that the UNSC would rally there again. But like you said, with Escharum now dead, it is very likely that the Banished would probably struggle with each other for power and supremacy. But I think with Atriox coming into play for any future DLCs for the campaign, it's definitely possible that any infighting would quickly subside, really. Okay. We have Dural Ndama. He has 4 or 5 questions. Actually, no, not even. 7 questions. Okay, so number 1, do you think other Covenant remnants will be explored upon the future? And if so, what do you want to see more explored upon? Be it anything pre-existing or the ones you would like to see. It's definitely plausible we can see other Covenant remnant groups. I would very much like to see Sully Neon's Covenant explored more. Based on what's been explained in the encyclopedia, it sounds like Sully Neon is really building up his Covenant to pretty much like Jewel and Dama did. So I wouldn't be surprised if we've seen him in any like books or comics or anything like that. So it's definitely plausible there. Okay, so his second question is, was it ever explained why the routine Kigyar have glassy eyes, but then went to non-glassy looking eyes? Honestly, I think that was just the glassy eyes thing. I think I know what he's talking about. He's talking about like Kigyar like glassy eyes throughout different versions of Halo. I think that's just kind of like a design choice, really. Okay. Oh. Oh. Never heard these dialogues here for these heretics. Okay, so number 3, what game has given the best representation of the Sangheli, Sanshayum, Jirohane, Ungoi, Kigyar, Mekalekolo, and Yanmi for lore, design, and how they act in the game? In reference to most of that, I would have to go with Halo 2 Anniversary, what we're playing right here. I've always feel like this game best represented their qualities in terms of both design and like overall like appearance and lore, considering like with the Sangheli, themselves, they're much more elegant. They're much more how else to describe it? They're definitely more noble. The grunts are well, they're obviously like more grunty, cowardly, and the Kigyar basically, well, they're Kigyar. They're pretty much sharpshooters and all that. And but for the Jirohanai, I think they're best represented. Oh, well, I'm dead. I think the Jirohanai are best represented in either Halo 2 Anniversary or in or in Halo 3, because in certain fact that we have multiple chieftain types, the packs and all that. And as for the Yanmi, no, actually for the Yanmi, I think in Halo ODST, I think they're best represented there because we have the hive structure, we have like the drones and all that. I think they were more explored more than they were in this game or in Halo 3. All right, I'm just gonna take care of some of these heretics. Come on. Just gonna take care of some of these guys. All right. So his fourth question is follow up to question 3. What is your favorite armor design of said race, or in the Yanmi's case, shell design? Like I said, I think H2A has like the best like armor combos for like most of the Covenant races. But for like Jirohanai, I think either Halo 3 or Infinite. I don't know why, I just like the Banished armor designs. And number 5 is, what would the Yanmi and Ungoi type cruisers look like? I don't think well, for Ungoi, that's really hard to tell, considering the fact we don't really know much of Ungoi ships, because they really never really had any ships prior to their enslavement by the Covenant. But with the Created, I would imagine they had probably had more Forerunner type ships. And for Yanmi, I don't think they ever had any ships really. So I think we can only assume that they just had like the standard. They just didn't leave Palomok either. So I think, like I said, I think they would probably either stick with Covenant or any other random type ship. All right. So his final question is: Can you explain how Sangheli, from being raised as a child to enlistment in Covenant military worked? Like how was their childhood like, and how old was one before they could enlist, and how was their training like? If I ever had to describe Sangheli children training, it would have to be like the ancient Spartans of Greece, or like Japanese, ancient Japanese feudalists like training. I think that's the best way I can describe their training. We do know that Sangheli do train at a really early age, so we know like Sangheli males and females train pretty much the same way, but only like males advance to the more complex areas of combat, because females only know basics so they can defend their keeps in their homes from any invaders while the males are at war. So aside from that, we don't really know much about the Sangheli training regiments and age. I think it's when they reach when they reach their adolescence, they would pretty much enlist into the Covenant military. All right. So I'm just going to pause right here so I can scroll on down to more questions. Thank you very much. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh, okay. I'm not done with Dural Duma, actually. He has more questions. For his next question, for the races of the Covenant, did any of them practice art? Aside from, like, I think the only race of the Covenant that I know, like exactly that practice art, I think it has to be the Sanghelios. But it's definitely plausible that Sanghelios could practice art because they have murals in their keeps and all that, for their saga walls. What else? I'm not so... Oh, well, that was a fail on my part. But I think aside from that, there's not really much other races. I can definitely see Ungoi making, like, ridiculous, like, looking art for their huts and their clans, I think. Aside from that, I really can't really say. So next question is, within the Covenant, what race would you prefer to be captured by? Being the Jirohane, Sangheli, Kigyar, or hell, even the Ungoi? I'd say the Ungoi. I would say they'd be more gentle, if that makes sense, compared to, like, the other races. I think Kigyar would probably be the worst. Or maybe the Sanshayum. But given what we saw in Broken Circle with, excellent redolence, that's probably not likely because in fact he pretty much tortured his victims with a gravity chamber. So I think grunts are honestly the best option to be captured by. Really, they probably annoy the living hell out of you with their singing and all that, but aside from that, I think they'd honestly be harmless. All right, so next question. Regarding the Kigyar and Jirohane, is the reason why they work well together due to their cruel and sadistic nature or similar cultural backgrounds? I think they just work well together because the Jirohane pay. The Kigyar are pretty much a mercenary race. They don't, like, they're not filled by monetary gain or have any preference, really. I think they're just more focused on whoever pays the most Gex. Oh, I'm just gonna grab another weapon here before I answer more questions. Okay, so his next question is, what is some advice for developing a good Covenant or Banished OC, or just general writing of them? I think my best advice, well, considering the fact that I'm a very big lore nerd, I would say pretty much do some research on how either the Covenant works or the Banished works. See how, like, the mindset of their groups are, and that way you can make a pretty convincing Banished character, really. Like, for my example, I've had for the Banished AI, Samultus from the Banished Rank video, which I did a few months back. He was pretty much kind of like similar to, like, a similar tone frame of his Esherim, and not as silly as, like, Eratus from the narrative of Halo Infinite's campaign the narrative of Halo Infinite's multiplayer. That's what I meant to say. Oh, shit. Okay. Or, for example, like, if you're making a character for, like, say, for example, an Ungoi or Kigyar, just pretty much same advice. Just pretty much understand the mindset and kind of take it from there. Or if you want to go silly, go silly. I mean, sky's the limit for your creativity. I have no opposition for that. Oh, Jesus. All right. Just gotta restock some ammo, and then I will answer more questions. Hold on one moment. There we are. Okay, so his final question is, would you like to see the Covenant Fringe explored more, as they are hinted more races were a part of the Fringe within the encyclopedia that have yet been explored? What would you like to see? I would very much like to see the Covenant Fringe explored more. They're an interesting group. I would honestly like to see. I would like to see the Dazreem explored more. They were really interesting, like aquatic shark people, really. So I wouldn't mind seeing them appearing more in any media. Or hell, man, I would love to see them in a book or something like that. So yeah. Oh, hold on. Just gonna take care of some of these dudes. Oh, hold on. Let me just take care of some of these. Ungoy here. Ah. There we go. Oh no! Got a little friendly Ungoy there. Bastard. Okay. So, let me see. All right, just gonna pause right here so I can scroll down more and get some more questions from y'all. Oh, okay. Looks like Dural Dama is taking the place of Supreme Commander for this stream here. Okay, so Dural Dama asks, what obscure Covenant / Banished character would you like to see brought into the light once more? An obscure Covenant character? I would like to see Selenion. I wouldn't mind seeing him again. Like, sure, he has a really silly name. Like, he's pretty much named after a freaking pop star. But, I mean, I always liked his rebellion idea. It was pretty much interesting. And I would like to see him emerging as, like, a successor for Julim Dama. But, in terms of other Banished characters, I wouldn't mind seeing, like, to see the two Legion Masters, Deucalion and Ballas from Shadows of Reach. I mean, it's been told from the encyclopedia that they're now at Zeta Halo, so I wouldn't mind seeing them in any campaign DLCs as Aatrox's lieutenants or something like that. So it's definitely something to explore upon. All right, so Dural asks again, would you like to see banished fied variants of other Covenant weapons and vehicles, such as the beam rifle or the Spectre? Also, would you see the Banished using a Scorpion, as it would be perfectly fit their area of Big Boom? Yeah, I would definitely like to see them banished-fied more Covenant weapons. I wouldn't mind seeing beam rifles, fuel rod cannons, what else? Concussion rifles. I mean, I couldn't mind seeing all the other Covenant weapons really pop up in any future media. And as for the Scorpion, I mean, I could see them utilizing it for ends meet. I mean, we do know that the Banished were strip mining old UNSC vehicles for their own use, so I wouldn't be surprised if they decide, hey, let's just use UNSC vehicles against them. I mean, it's definitely possible. Oh. Oh. Oh my. I just saw that grunt use a grenade and die from that blast. Oh my god. I love Ungoy, but sometimes they could be just so stupid. Okay, I'm slashing this dude. There we go. Okay. Next question. Doral asks, why do the Banished Dreadnoughts and Carves not have glassing beams? At least as far as I'm aware. it's quite strange that they removed the most powerful weapon, especially considering they are considering especially considering they are constructed from salvage cruisers. I'm not sure. I mean, it's definitely, I don't think they don't have them. I just don't think we have seen them before. Or maybe they've used the glassing beams incorporated for their excavation equipment, like the machine from Outpost, from Side Novum or other areas. Maybe they utilize the beams for other uses. I mean, or it can also be the fact that they're more like, it wouldn't be much of a sport, really, for taking down enemies or something like that. But, I don't know. Oh, jeez. Oh, okay. All right. So let's just take... Oh! Die! All right. Now we got that out of the way.
The heretics are mobilizing their air forces on it. Get after their leader, but watch your back. I'm sending one of our phantoms to support.
I already know where they are. Right there. Okay. Dural and Dama ask a couple other questions. Would you like to see the incendiary grenade return in Halo Infinite? Yeah, I would very much like to see that. It's definitely possible. I wouldn't mind seeing them again. Ooh, hang on. Just take care of these guys. Oh, jeez, the fuel rod got me. His second question is, what other class of Sentinels would you like to see return in Halo Infinite? Also, how would you like to see the Flood return in Halo Infinite? First question, I wouldn't mind seeing, like, those big, I can't remember what those big aggressor Sentinels were. The ones in Halo 2 where they just, with the big claws where they can grab vehicles and just crush them underneath them. I can't remember those, but I would like to see those make a return. I wouldn't mind seeing the, what is it? The Stratos, Sentinel. Not the retrievers from Halo Wars 2, the different kind. The ones that were cut from Halo 3. I think they're called the Strato Sentinels, but I cannot be sure. Oh, Enforcers. Thank you, Jedi. Yes, Enforcers. That's it. Enforcers. Yep, that is exactly what I was referring to. The name was freaking lost on my thought right now. Okay, so, and as for the Flood, honestly, I'm one of those people that are like, I'm just not really into the Flood returning, really. They had their highlight in the original trilogy, and their inclusion in Awakening and Nightmare was great. But aside from that, I think they should just take a break. Like, they've had their highlight. I don't think they should return. I think their return would just be more fan service. And quite honestly, I'm just not a big fan of the Flood, really. I much prefer fighting the Banished or Forerunner constructs, really. So, yeah. Okay, so number 3, which spiker would you prefer? The Pagaris Workshop spiker, or the Graphic... Oh, God, I cannot pronounce this. The Halo Wars 2 spiker. That's a very interesting question. Honestly, I'm gonna throw out the ball here, and I'm gonna say the Halo Wars 2 version of the spiker rifle. It's really interesting. I like the blades all across the weapon, and honestly, I would like to see them in first person. I wouldn't mind seeing them make a return, in any DLC. I mean, I could definitely see that happening. Okay, just gonna pause there so I can scroll on by. Right. Okay. We have other questions now from Brutus, Lord of the Nile. Do you think Sanghelios has different biomes such as Earth itself, or is completely rocky and a few in foliage? Um, I mean, they could have different biomes in certain regions of Sanghelios, like because most of Sanghelios is desert, which why Sanghelios cities are more um directed on the coast of Sanghelios's continents. I wouldn't be surprised seeing have them have biomes in like certain desert regions to establish like hunting reserves or something like that. Because I know they have done that on Suban, I believe. And they have done biomes before on other Sangheli worlds, such as Krek in Broken Circle. But I wouldn't mind. I think it's plausible that they could have biomes, but for the moment, I think it's just rocky with a few foliage. Okay, hold on one moment. I just need a drink because I'm a little thirsty right now. There we go. Okay. So let me think. Let me see here. Okay, Brutus Lord of the Nile asks again. Does Sangheli clans represent themselves with flags of their own, or just go off by names? I think Sangheli clans at the moment. I know they do have flags in the Arbiters. In the Arbiters. Terminal cutscene, we do know when he was training with a few Sangheli that within the keep, which I assume is Vadam Keep, they do have flags, which I would have to think that that's like the sigil of their clan. So it's not impossible to rule out that they have their own banners, but for the moment, there's not much else beyond that. So for the moment, I would say that they're just going off their clans by name. Okay. Okay, generic Sangheli ask, what is your favorite non-plasma ranged weapon? I think the skewer from Halo Infinite. I like the skewer. Or the needle rifle. The needle rifle is also a great weapon. It's non-plasma also. Oh, just gonna grab another energy sword. Oh, hold on. I'm actually gonna cut up some of these flood bodies because I don't want them bothering us. Okay. They think that's it. Oh, no, there's one.
Close your jaws, or I shall bind them shut.
Oh, where's the other guy? Where's the other Ungoy?
Hold your fire. Hold your
Well,
fire.
there's Sessa. Or just a holodrome version of him.
Sent to silence me. An arbiter. Unflattered. He's using a holodrome.
Yep, I'm taunting you, Sessa.
Come out so we may kill you. Get in line.
I'm actually surprised we haven't seen more holodrones in other media. That would have been interesting to see.
Stand firm.
Ah! Oh! Back off! This is why I don't like the flood. They're so annoying. Oh no, he got the little grunt guy. Okay. I was just gonna answer more questions. ZB2 asks, what are your thoughts on Covenant teleportation and assembly forges / engineers? Do you think with such technology like swift space and teleportation, fusion, star harvesting, and ability to assemble complex molecular structures, nano-laminate, nanomachines, mass production, engineering, Covenant qualify for near post secrecy or past post secrecy civilization? I have no idea what that is, but honestly, I don't know. I don't think I have a really big opinion. I think in terms of opinion, in terms of they're definitely ahead of their time. Basically, that it's no surprise that the Covenant was able to dominate the humans with their technology, really. And I find some of their mass production within the assembly forges very interesting. But other than that, I kind of don't really have an opinion on their mass production thing, in terms of opinion, at least. Ah, stupid sentinels. Yeah, not that one. All right, so next question goes to Super Bro TV. Ask waffles or pancakes? Pancakes. Always. Pancakes are superior, and I will not hear anything about it. Okay, thank you. Next question. Supreme Commander Cam Va Alamati. There he is. There's the big man himself. If you could, what weapon class would you want to introduce in the Covenant/Covenant Remnants? Mine would be a saw type. I wouldn't mind having a Covenant version of a shotgun. Or, no, I think a shotgun. I think that's the only thing the Covenant hasn't really made, a shotgun. And I wouldn't mind seeing them making a shotgun variant. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing, or the brute variations of weapons, like a storm rifle or a, or more energy-based weaponry, like energy sword or something like that, or pretty much like the Banished did with their energy axes and hammers and stuff like that. That'd be very interesting to see. Okay, hold on one moment. While I pause and scroll on to more questions. Okay, hold on one moment. Okay, here we go. Supreme Commander has a lot more questions here. All right. So, Supreme Commander asks, what cultures would you want to see get explored more in Halo? I wouldn't mind seeing more of the Ungoi and Kigyar cultures explored. We got some bits and pieces more explored in the encyclopedia, but I wouldn't mind seeing how Kigyar society operates now. We know that their matriarchs still rule, but we do know that they have pirate queens or like semi-democratic structures, really. But other than that, we really don't know much about their society right now. Same for the Ungoi, really. I wouldn't mind seeing what post-create Balaho looks like right now. Oh, jeez. Hang on. I gotta take her. No! Leave my sink. No! He got one of my brothers. All right. But yeah, I'm actually very curious on what Ungoi, what kind of Ungoi government would be running Balaho right now. I wouldn't be surprised if like some council or something like that. But I mean, if we want to make it very fun, I wouldn't mind seeing like Yap sympathizers there. I even made like a video for for Balaho for like in a Yap sympathizing Ungoi. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing more of those guys popping up. Oh, what my thing? Oh, that guy took it. Hold on, give me that back. Okay. All right. So let me move some more. Supreme Commander asks, what is your favorite Forerunner character from the games or the books? In terms of the games, obviously that would be the Didact. His voice acting was so great. My only big complaint with that is with him is that he didn't really have much screen time, so making him a memorable villain was really difficult. But in terms of books, honestly, I don't know, really. I think the librarian... Oh, jeez. Yeah, I think it has to be the librarian. Though I would... She and the didact would probably count in both. So, yeah, I'm just going to say the didact and the librarian, respectively. Oh, no! No! Oh, my God. God damn it. All right. Okay, so Supreme Commander asks, what is your favorite non-human and non-Sangheli place you would like to go? I wouldn't mind going to Doisak pre-Cortana destruction. I wouldn't mind seeing, what is it? Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing, Ian.
We should have brought weapons to burn these bodies. Every one is a potential vessel for the flood.
Yep, you make a good point there. Okay, back to the question. Like I said, either Balaho or Ian, or maybe the Dazreem homeworld, or Reem as it is called. I wouldn't mind seeing that place. Oh, hold on. Smash through here. Ah, stupid. I hate these stupid floppy things. They're so annoying. Oh. All right, I'm gonna grab this turret. Oh, damn it. All right. Next question is, what type of armor would you like to see make a return in Halo? If it's just strictly to wear or just like in general, honestly, I would like to see the return of the in terms of multiplayer. I would very much like to see the Helios Girl make a return. I love that helmet. Oh my God, these stupid flood things. I wouldn't mind seeing, but in terms, if ever playable elites come back, I would love to see the Halo, what is it? What is it? The Halo, the Arbiter armor from Halo 2, or the Halo 5 Arbiter Kaidan armor. I love that armor, and I will always think that's a worthy successor to the Arbiter armor, in my opinion. Oh, jeez. All right, I'm gonna friggin' slash. All right, now that we got that out of the way, how do you think we could better the Halo community and get rid of the toxicity? The best way to get rid of the toxicity is really just, honestly, I honestly don't... If I had to get rid of the toxicity, I would very much encourage C430 to really listen to the community and pretty much kind of balance it out from what they want and what the community wants. And to better the community itself, honestly, this is probably not going to happen, but I would very much like to see a return of more of a chill, for people just to know that it's a video game. And because lately people have been acting like Halo, certain changes in Halo is they've taken it so far, like they're violating human rights or something like that. Honestly, it's just a video game. I think people just need to take a moment and chill out, really. That's what I'm trying to do right now, and just not laying, like, just focus on what you enjoy, and you'll be better for it, really. If you focus on all the stuff that you hate and dislike all the time, you're just gonna be a miserable bastard, really. And that's honestly what I always try to avoid. Come on, stupid flood. Okay, there we go. Oh, hold on. Flood surrounding us. Hold on. What is there a flood over here or something? Hold on. Ugh. Ugh. All right. So moving on to the questions. Grunts with energy daggers and in CQB/CQZ in buildings against UNSC troops. How devastating would they be? Pretty devastating, really. Because grunts are pretty much, like, jokes aside, grunts can be very terrifying in the battlefield. Like, even without energy daggers, I think they could still be formidable. Like hell, like in suicide bombing, they're pretty damn terrifying, really. So, Jesus Christ. All right, come on, dude, let's go. No, you're gonna stay there? Okay, enjoy being consumed by the flood. Okay, so his next question is, do you think there's a grave mine in the ruins of High Charity? Probably. I mean, though, I'm kind of, like, questioning that, though, considering the fact that in Awakening the Nightmare, the flood was building up a grave mine, and Vortis and Pavian were destroying that proto grave mine. So, I mean, it can go both ways. Like, but at the moment, I think there could be remnants of the grave mine from Halo 3 in High Charity at the moment. But at the moment, I can only guess that perhaps there is. So that's as best an answer as I can give, really, at the moment. Okay, so Supreme Commander asks, is it possible for the Covenant ships to build weaponry in the front instead of the bottom? Kind of like forward-facing energy lances. I think I've answered this question before, but I mean, I think maybe, but I can also see that being like it would be kind of difficult to direct the beam in a forward position rather than just directly bottom. Like, it's kind of like unlike like directing like plasma torpedoes and something like that. They'd be more like oh jeez. Oh, he already ran. Oh, there you are. Come here, Sessa. Come on, Sessa. Oh, you pussy. Okay.
This will save me from the storm, but you will be consumed.
Pussy. Okay. So moving on to other questions. Supreme Commander asks, did the Kigyar Society fell back into piracy, or do we know if those pirates use all sorts of weapons, like human weapons and Covenant weapons? To the first question, yes, the Kigyar have fallen back on piracy. We have seen that numerous times before. In Halo Escalation, the UNSC Infinity was tasked to destroy a few of those. Take yours. All right, so moving on to other questions. Oh, no, not other questions. And we also seen that Kikyar piracy in Hunt the Truth, where Maya Sankar is being held by Kikyar shipmistress. And I think there's others, but I can't quite remember. But we do know that the Kikyar, yeah, at the moment, many of them are in a state of piracy right now. And it's definitely plausible that they use human weaponry as well as Covenant weapons. I mean, they're not really picky about their weapons like the Sanghelios or the other races of the Covenant did. So it's definitely plausible for them using human-based sniper weapons. For example, oh, hold on. Let's move on to other things for the moment. But in short, yes, I could definitely see them using human and Covenant weapons combined. All right, hold on one moment. Let me just pause right here so I can scroll on to more questions. Okay. All right, so Supreme Commander asks, do you feel disappointed in the state of the Halo community as a whole right now? Kind of. I kind of am, sharing the fact that some of them can be very... Some of them can have sent death threats to some Hit 343 developers, which I do not encourage at all. I don't believe people should do that at all. Like, it's just a video game, guys. Like, but at the end of the day, it's just a video game. But I do feel like the community can change. They just really need to acknowledge that it's just a video game and not like some like human rights violation or something like that. Honestly, I've seen so much of the community drama and stuff like that, and I just don't want any part of that, really. So, yeah. Okay, moving on. Back to more less depressing stuff. All right. Oh, hold on. Sentinel, screw off. Whoa. We gotta move on. I'll cloak past these dudes. Whoa.
The Oracle must be saved.
You're not gonna save your Oracle. I'm gonna take him. Oh, there we go. All right, so moving on. Superbov ask if the Sanghelios don't know who their fathers are, then 1. Do they know who their bloodline siblings are? And are they, or they accidentally marry their siblings? I think though they don't know their fathers, Sanghelios do know their brothers and siblings and all that. Though some sources have said that some cousins could be their brothers, I think for the most part they do know their siblings' identities. Like Dural and Asum and Dama know that they're siblings. We do know that the two brothers in Halo Bloodlines know each other by their status as brother and brother. But it's honestly, it's kind of unknown whether it's just a matter of choosing to share the identities of your kin. I think it's just their fathers, really, that is just not known at the moment. Okay, so moving on. Supreme Commander asks, would you have the guts to fire the array yourself, condemning the galaxy to a lifeless void? No, because I'm not a murderous bastard that wants to destroy all life because of some fake religion. I mean, if the Flood was, like, consuming everything on their wake like the Forerunners did, like the Forerunners were going through, I mean, maybe. If it was that bad, if I known, like, there was going to be a reseeding, like how it was at the end of the Forerunner War with the Flood, probably. but it's kind of hard to say at this point, really. Ooh, I'm just gonna hide here. Oh, nope, no, I'm not, because there's a flood here. Okay, moving on to another question. Supreme Commander asks, do the elites have their own breweries where they make alcohol? I have no idea. I don't think they've ever mentioned they have alcohol or anything like that on Sanghelios or any of their colonies. They probably do have beverages, but I don't think there's at the moment. I don't think there's any narcotic alcoholic drinks like that, really. So I'm gonna say no. Aha, we got Sessa now. Okay, Supreme Commander asks, what would the archaic shields of the Sanghelios look like in your opinion? Probably, if you guys saw the demo for Halo CE, that the Major has an energy shield, I think that's the best that we can get in terms of a Sanghelios shield. Like, if I had to make like a guess on what the Sanghelios shields look like, it would have to be that. Oh, screw you, Sessa. Okay. Oh wait, I skipped a few questions from Supreme Commander. Never mind. Oh, jeez. How is it that hull drones can kill people like that? All right. All right, there we go. Sessa, screw off. Okay, moving on to other questions. What kind of human cultures do you want to see for the elites, other than Japanese and Vikings and or Spartans, the Greek ones? Honestly, maybe Celtic, or maybe the old Irish types of warriors. Honestly, I have no idea about the other. Oh, geez, there you are, Sessa. Screw you. Fuck you. Okay. Yeah, other than that, I have no idea, other than the Vikings or the Japanese Spartan stuff, really. Okay, moving on to other questions. What other melee weapons do the brutes have, other than knives and hammers? I mean, they also have energy maces. They have energy axes like Eshrum's and Aatrox's Chainbreaker. I know Vortis has a scythe, the arm blade that he has. But other than that, I don't really know if any Jirohane have any other type of melee weapons, really. Okay, so moving on to his other questions. Do you like Warhammer 40k universe? If not, why? I just haven't really gotten into that because honestly, I'm not really into the Warhammer universe, really. It's so confusing because I know there's also a sci-fi and a fantasy versions, and it's just so confusing at the moment. So I just choose like. Okay, so his Supreme Commander's other question is, how fast would have humanity lost a war had the Spartans not been ready? Probably within a decade, probably, if not sooner. I mean, the Spartans were primarily the reason why the Covenant War was so delayed. But other than that, I think it would be less than a decade for humanity to lose the war. All right, so moving on to another question from Supreme Commander. Would you see elites creating their own power armor? I mean, they do make their own combat harnesses, if that's what you mean. Felvadam has made his Kaidon Arbiter armor. But other than that, I think I could definitely see them making their own sets of armor for moving on, because they don't have the assembly forges or the profits to make more for them. We have armories on Sanghelios that are crafting their own armors and sets like that, so it's definitely plausible. So, yeah. Okay, so Supreme Commander asks, what mythological beings, be it heroes or creatures or demons, do the elites have, and can you name them? Yes, the Sangheli do have mythological beings. Chief among them being Urs, Fiad, and Jori. They're the old gods of Sangheli mythology. Urs is pretty much the king of the gods. Fiad is pretty much the lord of the underworld, aka the Hall of Eternity. He basically wields a lantern lit by Urs that pretty much calls out the names of honored Sangheli warriors. As for Jori, I have no idea. But other beings is Kaldar Sam, Urus's demigod son. And there are creatures he slew, like the Sand Dwellers of Elik. I think a few others, but after he tried to rescue his uncle from a rival Kaiden, he was killed and transformed into pure light by Urus. And I think that's it in terms of Sangheli mythology at the moment. And I do know there is like a nature being, a minor god in Sangheli mythology, which is associated with nature. I can't really remember his name right now. He was mentioned in Broken Circle, but like I said, I can't remember him at the top of my head right now. I can't name him. Okay, hold on. Let me just grab some weapons while I answer. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me pause here so I can scroll down and answer some more questions, because you guys love asking questions, do you? All right. All right. Okay, Supreme Commander asks, do we have any unknown Jackal ranks? Were there any Jackal Zealots at the time of the Covenant? I think there may have been, like, Jackal ranks of some kind in the Covenant, like Zealot. But at the moment, I think Zealot was exclusively for the Sangheli, because they were the most zealous of the group. We do know that they had Rangers at the time. We have ship mistresses. Certain scientists, like what was her name in Escalation? Or not Escalation. In the Rise of Atriox. The Tavawan Kigyar scientist that pretty much Decimus tried to recruit but ended up trying to kill him. I can't remember at the top of my head what her name was. If anyone remembers in the comments, please let me know. But other than that, I think we have just the basic Kigyar ranks at the moment. We also have Pirate Queen, if that counts, really. I think that kind of counts. But I think that's it, really. Okay, would you like to see more of the Governors of Contrition appear in Halo stories? Yeah, I would very much like to see the Governors back. And for those of you who don't know, the Governors of Contrition were basically a Covenant cult that pretty much worshipped the Flood, pretty much. They pretty much thought the Flood was pretty much a creation of the Forerunners, and by that extension, they should be, that is probably, and by that extent, they thought the Flood was also worthy of reverence as as the Halo rings, pretty much. But yeah, I would definitely like to see them make a return as like a radical cultist group. Hell, I wouldn't mind seeing them in post-war era as well as in the Covenant era. Oh, let me take care of this Enforcer dude before I answer any more of your questions. Ah, Jesus. I'm curious why Tartarus called the Enforcer a beast. That's kind of weird. Considering the fact that these are holy artifacts, really. But, I don't know. Oh, jeez. There we go. Just die already. There you go. Alright. Do that. Do that. Do that. And do that. There we go. Alright, before I activate this thing, I'm going to answer some more of your questions. What is your favorite of these? What is your favorite of these three? Plasma repeater, the storm car... yeah. What is your favorite of these three? The plasma repeater, the storm rifle, or the pulse carbine? Plasma repeater. I like the design, and I think of all three of those, it's more easier to use because they can still fire. They can just fire very slowly, unlike the other ones that overload and you pretty much pause while they overheat. All right, so moving on to another question from Supreme Commander. Were there any metallic versions of the energy swords without any of the features like the burn blades? Yes, there were. They were the curved blades. They were the predecessors of the burn blades, and by extension, the energy swords. They were pretty much like the main swords used by the Sanghelios before burn blades were ever a thing. And I think they make a resurgence even now. Like, I know that the shipmaster from the Return used a curved blade against certain Kigyar pirates on Kolo, so yeah, I think that kind of also counts as a metallic blade, if not like a regular blade. But I'm gonna count it as metallic, so whatever. Ah, screw you. Oh, jeez. Ooh, okay, there's an Enforcer. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna deal with this one before I answer more questions. Sorry, guys. Gotta deal with this. Priorities. Jeez. There we go. Oh, jeez. Now I gotta deal with these freaking things. Okay, I'm clocking. There we are. Whoa. Okay. Moving on to more questions. Jackals. Okay, Supreme Commander asks, Jackals with gravity maces, would that be fun in CQC when they have both shields and whack you over with one of those? Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing them having something like that. Or hell, even the energy daggers as seen in the Halo TV show. I wouldn't mind seeing that either. Oh, jeez. Sneak past those guys. Oh, no. No, no, no. Don't follow me. Don't follow me. Screw you.
Proceed to the objective. We'll hold down as long as we
Oh,
can.
I hate this. I hate this place.
Get her off me! Suppressive fire! Suppressive fire!
I'm gonna move past these guys. Get away from me. Oh, I hate these big floaty things. Screw you, blob things. I forget what you are, but I don't care. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna leave leave them to the enforcers. Before I answer more questions. No! Leave me alone! Move past these guys. Okay, there we go. All right, so moving on to other questions. Supreme Commander asks, if you were to be a normal human and you were to go to keys to weapon stashes on Alpha Halo, how would you react? I would tell keys to not go there and not freaking unleash the flood, or pretty much release them even more. I would tell him to stay in Alpha Base and wait for Chief and Cortana. I mean, otherwise he wouldn't have his face smashed in by the Chief on freaking Truth and Reconciliation now, wouldn't he? Alright, so... I'm gonna move past these guys. I'm gonna try and retreat. Jeez. Okay. Screw you, blob things. Cloak and sneak past these fools. Okay. Moving on to another question. Okay, Supreme Commander asks, had the Covenant found more foreigner tech like light rifles, etc., how would you think their weapons would have functioned, as well as their ships and vehicles? They would probably be a little more advanced. Probably not super advanced. Because Jewel and Dama's Covenant had them in Halo 4 and 5, and they weren't like super advanced after that. They were pretty much the same as they were in the beginning. So it's really anyone's guess at the point where the hierarchs would have made more of them or less, if that makes sense. All right. Right, so I'm going to move on to another question from Supreme Commander again. Of course, because why not? What is the best color of armor, and what color... Okay, hold on. Let's see if I can answer that again. What's the best color for armor, and what color to ascent with? And what color in highlight would it with? Okay, I think he's asking me what my favorite primary, secondary, and the highlight color, like Halo 3's, is. In that case, I think my favorite color combo is, well, gold. Gold for all of them, really, because, you know, like Goldmember, I love gold! Pardon my terrible Goldmember accent, sorry. It's a Sunday and I'm very tired. I'm sorry. Okay, moving on to other questions. All right, so Supreme Commander asks, how would you change the Halo TV show Elite Armors? If I had to change anything about the Elite Armors, I would obviously add more variety other than the minors and the major armors. I would definitely change the major helmet and armor to make it look a little less like a Krogan. And as for minors, I would, if I were to change anything for them, I would change their helmets to look more similar to what we have in Halo 2 Anniversary, as opposed to having it look like a near identical to the Arbiter's helmet. It just looks a little weird for me, but other than that, they were really good for the most part. But like I said, I would like to see more variety, like Zealots, Rangers, and other armors, really. But we also had the Honor Guards in the TV show, which were freaking amazing. I would never change those. But That's just my opinion on the matter. Okay, hold on. Let me just get a drink here so I can answer more questions. Oh, geez. I did not realize that it was there. Ugh. There we go. Okay. Took care of those guys. All right. Supreme Commander asks, what class of ship would you get its first appearance? And hold on, this question's kind of weird for me. I gotta read. What class of ship would you get its first appearance and versions from the Covenant and Splinter factions? The ORS class heavy cruiser, also known as the Varric pattern cruiser, because I love that ship, and I love how it was made its appearance throughout like the standard media, like for example the Halo Envoy. What else? Oh no! Freaking lunge death again! God damn it! But yeah, the ORS pattern cruiser, obviously that's and definitive I have to go with as both the Covenant and Covenant Splinter Group ship design. Okay. Oh. Jeez. Jeez, I hate the freaking flood. Oh my. Like I said, I very much hate the flood with a burning passion. Okay. Moving on. Oh my god. Oh. Come on. That was stupid on my part. I apologize. Oh, jeez. Blob. No, he killed my dude. All right, you're getting slashed. I'm sorry, guys. I'll answer more questions. I just got to take care of some of these flood dudes. Oh, come on. Stupid flood bastards. I hate these things so much. Oh, jeez. Die. Shit. Jeez, what is going on with these freaking lunges? They're freaking ridiculous right now. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Oh, really, you think? Okay, so Supreme Commander asks, are you doing good? Yeah, doing pretty good. Doing pretty good myself. Okay. A little tired, but can't complain. Looking forward to House of the Dragon later on tonight, which I'm very much looking forward to. Watch again. It's a very good show. If you guys watch Game of Thrones, then I definitely recommend watching House of the Dragon. Okay, moving on. Right. So Supreme Commander asks, how would you be sure the Covenant didn't fall if you were in charge? I wouldn't obviously conspire to oust one of my founding members, really, because that if Truth hadn't pretty much conspired to replace the elites, probably the war would have been over. The Covenant probably would have won. The only reason why the Covenant fall apart in the beginning was because Truth was too overconfident in his abilities with the Jirohane that pretty much led to the schism that pretty much broke the Covenant apart. So,
Arbiter, what are you doing here?
hey Artos, how you doing, buddy? Okay.
Opponents. We must hold this camp until reinforcements.
Yeah, okay. So, hold on. Let me just move on. Okay, Supreme Commander asks, would you like to see Angband from the first stage? Oh my. I pretty much got stealth. I haven't really paid, to answer your question, Supreme Commander, I have not paid attention much to Tolkien's works on the Silmarillion in regard to the first stage of Lord of the Rings.
Arbiter, what are you doing?
I have no thoughts on Angband, really, so,
We must hold this camp until
and following up with that question, what is your favorite faction from Tolkien's writings? Mine's most likely Rohan. I'm gonna say the Uruk-hai from Isengard because they were pretty much badasses. I used to be very scared of those dudes actually when I was a little kid and first watching the Lord of the Rings movies. But the Uruk-hai were pretty much so badass, and I just love them. All right, so moving on. Is there any Helbert or any polearm weapon that projects or that has a projectile or energy-based projectile weapon attached to it? I have no idea, so your guess is as good as mine, my friend. So, I'm just gonna say I have no freaking clue. Oh. Oh, jeez. Urtos, no! Leave Urtos alone, damn you! Oh, jeez, Urtos, you're taking it like a champ. Okay. So, moving on to other questions. Why are elites better than the Sheptards? Don't know who that is. Don't know who they are. The Sheptards. Probably because they're badass Sanghelios warriors. As seen here.
In the center of this zone is a sacred icon critical to the great journey. I must find it.
We shall cut into the heart of this infestation, retrieve the icon, and burn any flood that stand in our way.
Like said here, the badass warriors. So
I hope you know what you're doing.
I think that pretty much explains that. So yeah. Okay, so Supreme Commander asks, do you usually carry around a notebook or sketchbook with you to write down or sketch ideas that you get? No. I don't have a sketchbook of anything like that. Well, if you count my mobile, I guess if you were to count my Microsoft Word app on my phone as a notebook, so if you would count that, then yes, kind of. But as a journal, like a physical notebook, no, I do not have those. Okay, Supreme Commander asks, do the elites have their own drinks, like tea or coffee? I mean, I would imagine they have their own, like, beverages of their own. What exactly they have? I have no freaking clue. They would probably have tea of some kind, really, but other than that, your guess is as good as mine there also. So I honestly have no freaking clue, really. Oh, hold on. Just breeze past these dudes, and that's gonna be a good idea to pause right here so I can scroll on down and answer more of your brilliant questions, Supreme Commander, because you probably have a freaking whole lot of them, as probably everyone can attest on that. All right, so, all right. Just gonna go back here. All right. Are there any other forms of things the UNSC and swords do, like scientific research or expeditionary missions? Yes, they actually do. In Legacy of Onyx, the UNSC and the Swords of Sanghelios are pretty much, researching Onyx from Ghost of Onyx. Not the same planet, it's the shield planet, called the Sarcophagus, but they've renamed it Onyx, seeing as that it was this same planet that once existed with the sarcophagus, with the shield world. So, but they are shared, but it is a shared research project together. So they are, like, technically working together, not as a wartime colony or any joint military exercise, but more of a joint settlement / research group. And they also have their own, their children are there also, to learn together and pretty much learn to cooperate with one another. The Pax Institute at Paxopolis, the city in which the researchers are studying together with. All right, so just gonna hide right here so I can heal up my dudes. All right, so Supreme Commander asks, can you tell us about the secessionist Sangheli that were before Sesha? How did they try to change the opinion of the hierarchs on humanity? I don't think there were any other Sangheli that were against the war, really, or against the hierarchs other than Sessa's group. I mean, there were certain groups that were opposed to Ripamormi's appointment as Arbiter, but aside from that, any Sangheli that were puzzled by humanity's refusal to join the Covenant, I mean, they were vocal about it, but I don't think they were particularly oh, I'm gonna snag that scorpion. There we go. Snag that scorpion. Oh. No! Damn it. Okay. But like I said, I don't think there were any Sangheli groups that were really secessionists that really wanted to make peace with humans. There were only Sangheli that were, like, confused as to why humans were denied a place in the Covenant in the first place. So I don't think there were any rebellions that occurred because of this fact alone, really. Oh, just gonna breeze past these dudes. Oh. I'll try and snag that scorpion. Ah. No! Scorpion's down, god damn it. No, you got my dudes, you bastards. Okay. I'm moving. Oh, damn it. Okay, moving on to other questions. Okay, Supreme Commander asks, did brutes use proper catapults or trebuchets after they got nuked into the Stone Age. I'm gonna go ahead on a limb and say no, considering the fact that we don't know what brute. Get off. Considering the fact that we don't know much about what brutes were doing after they were nuked back in the Stone Age. They were probably just focused on rebuilding their culture and all that, and probably trying to survive their war-torn planet, really. I don't think they made their own catapults or stuff like that, really, at this point. So, to say they have catapults or trebuchets, it's kind of a long shot, really. So, yeah. Okay, so Supreme Commander asked for the upteen time. How much do you think a 20-year-old elite could bench presses? Probably a lot, considering the fact that Sanghelios are pretty much stronger than humans. I mean, that's probably the best answer I can give you at this point, really. So, okay. Jedi Spartan 38 asks, is there any Covenant or Banished content that you think the latest version of the encyclopedia should have included? If you could write a Halo novel based around the Covenant, what would it be about? Okay. If I had to make a complaint about like certain things about the Covenant and the Banished content in the encyclopedia that they could have had, I mean, if I had to pick anything, I think it would be like the fact that we don't have much of a clear look on the ranking structure of the Covenant, like certain like naval positions like within the Covenant, like we do know that Imperial Admiral was the highest station for Sanghelios in the Covenant military, but we don't really know much like the overall structure of naval warfare, unlike the UNSC. And I think the same goes for the Banished. And if I were to make another complaint, I think it would be the fact that we don't get much info on certain what is it? Oh, I can't think right now. It was in my thought right now, but it was trailing off. Oh, I think if I had to pick another thing for the Banished, I think it would be the fact that we didn't explore more about extended lore with like Escharum, or say for example like Atriox, like more about him in his past with Escharum. And I think that's about it. And if I had to make a book for myself with the Covenant, I would make a follow-up book to Broken Circle, because we don't really know much about what was going on after the Usans were pretty much reforged and the Refuge was pretty much brought back together. I would have liked to see how the Usans integrated with Sanghelios and Sanghelios society. I wouldn't mind seeing the Usans like pretty much musing to the option of joining the Swords of Sanghelios. I mean, they're the closest things the Sangheli got to what their society was like before the Covenant. So, I mean, it could be a thing, could not. I can only guess. All right, so Connor Lawson asks, if the Kigyars are mercs, what exactly do they get paid in, and has humanity ever thought about hiring Kigyar? As to your second question, I don't really know if the humans have ever hired Kigyar. They definitely hired Sangheli mercenaries like Ayit Savai in Escalation. And as to what Kigyar are usually paid in, it was Gex. That was the Covenant equivalent to Gex is pretty much the Covenant currency at the time. So, so that is what the Kigyar were paid in. They were paid in Gex. So, All right, so moving on to Jedi Spartan 38's another question. What are some of your favorite Elite helmets from the multiplayer, customization, and any game with playable Elites? My favorite helmets for Elites, I would say either the Keep Ward that we got in MCC, obviously the Arbiter helmet, both that and the Kaidan / Arbiter helmet from Halo 5, and the Silent, there's more on playable Elites more. Well, if you count the campaign, it kind of does count as playable Elites, so yeah. But for other things, I think the other playable Elite helmet that I do enjoy is the General helmet from Halo Reach. I don't know, people gave it a lot of crap over the years as like a banana helmet, but I personally enjoyed the helmet from Halo Reach. So yeah. Okay, so Brutus, Lord of the Nile, asks, think the Covenant colonized some worlds that were more aquatic. I think I've answered this before in the last live stream, but I think they have colonized planets that have aquatic traits. The Sangheli definitely did. Even Cessa Refermee's homeworld, actually. I can't remember what the name is. Like I said, it's Cessa Refermee's homeworld, but I don't quite remember what the actual name of the planet was called. But we do know that that the Covenant has colonized some aquatic planets in the past, as according to the encyclopedia, as well as the Dazrim's homeworld, if you count them as they were part of the Covenant Fringe. All right, so moving on to another question. All right, hold on one moment. Let me just pause so I can scroll on to some more questions. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh, there we go. Yep. Super Bro already answered that question. Is Feldraka. Yep, that is the homeworld of Cessa Refermee. So that answers your question, Brutus. Okay, so Bed and Breakfast ask, do you think that Sanghelios and its allied colonies are now at peace because of the fact that Julum Dama's covenant is gone and the servants of the Abiding Truth are losing their war on Onyx, and also with Cortana defeated as an addition to that? I think for the most part, Sanghelios and the colonies, well, Sanghelios at least, is for the most part unified, with the Arbiter controlling major keeps and other armories on Sanghelios. But there is still a lot of infighting with like in the outer colonies of Sanghelios' reach, and there's also the fact that there's also Sully Neon's covenant to deal with.
They must be after the icon.
But for the most part, I think the Swords of Sanghelios pretty much got Sanghelios under their control, and they do have a majority of Sangheli colonies under their control as well. But as to whether or not the Bloody Years is over or not, it's up in the air at the moment. Technically, it's still going on, but I think it's like in the mop-up phase right now. So
I'll do what I can to keep the flood off your back.
all right, so Brutus, Lord of the Nile, ask, would the swords have the colonies try to join them, or they'll be looked down to become independent? Do you think there would be aquatic vehicles, maybe military aquaries for the Covenant and aquatic worlds? And what would the Kigyar be like now that they don't have clients or folks they could hire to them mostly for the Banished, now that they have created now that the Create has taken over? And what would the Kigyar government be like now that they don't have the Covenant and mostly anyone who are they to pay for their services. For the most for your first question, Brutus, some colonies have joined the Swords of Sanghelios and some have remained independent. To your second question, I mean, it's definitely possible that there could be aquatic Covenant vehicles. God, jeez. And what the Kigyar would be doing, the Kigyar aren't just mercenaries for hire. They also slavers and other sorts, gun runners, black marketeers, and other stuff. So even if they, aside from the Banished, are not really employed that much, they still have other stuff to deal with. And the Kigyar government, I think it's like a semi-democratic state right now, though still, like, matriarchs, Kigyar matriarchs still rule much of Kigyar society right now. Oh no! Oh no, I killed both of my dudes. I'm so sorry. But yeah, like Kigyar's government right now, it's like a semi-democratic state right now. But still like heavily dominated by matriarchal Kigyar at the moment. So, okay. And Brutus asks again, can plasma weapons work underwater? Probably not, as a guess, really. And he has another question. Do you think the Kigyar actually have established a culture, or they move on to uncultured pirates? I think they do have a culture. We don't really know what that culture is, but they do have a culture. I hope we explore more on that in the future. But for the moment, it's just like up in the air right now. Oh.
Worthless cur.
Ah,
Fie, monster, fie.
you said, buddy. Okay. Jeez, these freaking flood dudes are coming out of this freaking hole again.
The library of our lord. Humans are already inside, Arbiter. After this, I'll watch the perimeter.
Okay, Taurus, how about you do something about it, rather than freaking just shouting orders at me? Jesus. Jeez. Okay. All right. So, okay. Captain Bob asks, who, in your opinion, is the most underrated character in Halo? Zaitan Jarwatinri. I think he's so underestimated right now. He's so underrated, but he's so cool. I love his helmet design. I actually love his lore pretty much and what he did after the Great Schism broke out, really. Oh my god, where are the other dudes? Okay, there we go. And I like his political savvy, even as the leader of the initial Sangheli resistance to the Covenant during the Great Schism. And I would like to know more about him, really. Like, what led to his exile from High Charity, how he attained the rank of Imperial Admiral, and other stuff, really. All right, so moving on to another question. Bed and Breakfast ask, what do you think would happen if the Arbiter was successfully assassinated by the Covenant during Halo 5? Pretty much the swords would probably be in disarray. The peace with the Sangheli would probably be tenuous at best. And obviously Osiris probably wouldn't have gotten access to Sinion and probably wouldn't reach the Master Chief, and probably the Creed probably would have taken over the whole galaxy without any problem, really. So yeah. So that's just my opinion on the matter. All right, so moving on to another question from Thula. Do you think the Arbiter in another life would have been a manager? Oh, hold on. Do you think the Arbiter in another life would be a manager at Arby's? I would. Jesus, I would hope so. That'd be freaking hilarious.
You hear me, Marines?
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay. Just gonna pause right here so I can move on to another question while waiting for the cutscene. Oh, that's not really much question. There's more like a little discussion going on there. Okay, so Brutus, Lord of the Nile, asks, would there be a battle taking place in the aquatic planets? Some of them could have been vulnerable resources and such that the Covenant excavated. They probably definitely would have probably engaged in like underwater warfare. I honestly don't know what kind of vehicles the Covenant would have had. But they would probably ultimately use their glassing beams as probably like a primary resource to fight back against any aquatic creatures like Dazream, really. So, but yeah.
Excellent work, Arbiter. The hierarchs will be pleased.
Okay, I think that does it for the questions for Discord. I think. Oh, I achieved another achievement there. Cool. Or complete a challenge, really. Okay, so okay, hold on. Let me answer one more question from Bruce, Lord of the Nile. Did Nakai talk? Oh, hold on. Wait, did Nakai talk about how? Okay, hold on. Did Nakai talk? Oh, okay, here we go. Did Nakai talk about how on making a good Kikyar character already? I don't think I have, actually. To make a good Kikyar character, you pretty much have to think of, like, the pretty much greedy nature of a greedy nature of, like, certain Kikyar, like, because pretty much all the Kikyar really care about is their own greed and wealth and their own and treasure and all that stuff. So if you want to make a Kikyar character that's kind of specialized like that, or is like a relentless like broker, like information broker, or a black marketeer, or certain oh, hold on. Sorry, I'll move on. I'll continue. Oh, damn it. Brutes got me. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna hide behind here while I answer more questions. Sorry. Just gonna hide behind here. Hide behind these rocks here. And scroll on to some more questions because I think I skipped a question. Apologies. Okay, here we go. I skipped a question. That is my bad. Sorry about that. All right, so this may be off question, but what would make a Kikyar character good? I have some ideas on on character making, but we don't really see Kikyar really make friends of other species like elites or brutes. Hence, do they care about money or don't seem to care about others? The nature of Kikyar is pretty much greed and personal wealth. So, like I said, like if you want to make a Kikyar character, pretty much have them being like a very greedy sort of person. Like like, say for example, they could be slavers, they could be black marketeers, weapon gun traders, or information brokers. Like, that's what I've done with making certain characters like Parkour, or certain criminal elements or pirates of that nature. Like, that's just generally what I think makes a good Kick-Yar character. But in terms of like morality, we haven't really seen. Well, we have seen Ryan forge forge a relationship with a Tavawan Kick-Yar. I can't quite remember her name, but I think she also was an information broker. But you could also, like I said, you could use like wealth as like a certain banished chieftain or a Sangheli Kaiden, hiring your Kick-Yar character to be like a gun runner or something like that. Like, just an example. Like, that's kind of like, well, I'm kind of really bad at explaining this right now, but that's basically what I did when making Parkour, like making like an information broker slash like pirate lord, pretty much. That's pretty much what I did when I made that character. So, I don't know. All right, just let me move on to more questions. All right. I think with bed and breakfast, I think this will be the end of the Q&A live stream. He has 2 questions. So bed and breakfast ask, how many ships in total do you think the Swords of Sanghelios have in their colonies in total? And remember that the Jirohane who were... Okay, hold on. Let me I'm sorry. Let me say this again. How many ships in total do you think the Swords of Sanghelios and its colonies have in total? And remember that the Jirohane who are having an even bloodier civil war going to have managed to get thousands of ships in Altsonen alone to fight Cortana. In total, I think the Sanghelios still have quite a few ships. The Swords of Sanghelios itself, I think they have a pretty sizable fleet and armada in both Sanghelios and the colonies. Let's not forget Shadow of Intent and other ships. They probably, for the most part, they probably have the Halo 5 ships as a majority of their fleet. But I think they do have a pretty sizable fleet, like thousands, like you said, with the Jirohane, as they were going through their own civil war, they still had thousands of ships to evacuate their people during the raising of Altsonen. Sorry about that. His second question is, do you think it would have been better if the first few levels of Infinite were about landing on the ring and fighting Prometheans, and then take place on Infinity with the Banished right after? I mean, I think it would have been better, honestly, if the game opened up with the actual assault on the Infinity, like the cutscene had, but having it in a way kind of like the Pillar of Autumn. But I do love the Ghost of the warship Gabrakan mission. I just love that mission so much. But if I had to change anything about the opening of Infinite, I would probably have to be like starting it off with Chief like walking with Lasky on the bridge of the Infinity, going over the plan of capturing Cortana with the weapon, and then having the Banish attack and having it more kind of like the Pillar of Autumn from Halo CE in that sense. But I don't know. Okay, so I think that does it for this monthly live stream. So thanks again, guys, for showing up again. If you guys have any more questions to ask, please submit them in the Discord. In the Discord session. Like I said, if you don't know where my Discord is, it is in the description below. You can just join up. So if you guys want to submit your questions for the future, so yeah, have a good one, guys. And until then, may the light of Horus guide your path. This is Covenant Canon signing off.